So what we're going to talk about today is the graph of a standard form quadratic equation. And to begin with the function y equals 2x squared minus 8x plus 7, we should talk a little bit about what the function is going to look like. It's going to look like a smooth U-shaped curve, otherwise called a parabola. So the first thing we want to actually know is, other than this being a smooth U-shaped curve, is how is it going to look in the coordinate plane? Could it be upside down or right side up? Will it be wide, a wide U, or a narrow U? And we do that by identifying our coefficient A, and that tells us right off the bat how it should look. Okay? So we're going to use A to decide what it looks like. So A is 2, and if A is positive, it'll open up, and if A is negative, it'll open down. So it's going to open up. And the other piece here is that if it's a number larger than 1, or if it's a number less than -1, it will be narrower than what we would expect. And that's because that leading coefficient can make it happen faster or slower. And a number that is larger than 1 or less than -1 will actually make that more steep. That U will go quicker. So this is going to open up and be narrow. Next, what we need to do is we need to come up with the axis of symmetry. Since this is a U shape, the axis of symmetry is going to be a vertical line that is smack dab right in the middle of our U. And somewhere on that vertical line, we'll be able to plot our vertex, and that'll be next. So let's just get this vertical line first. And we use this opposite of b over 2a equation. So let's go back to our function. Let's find b, which is -8. If b is -8, then we're going to sub it in here as a +8. Divided by, you'll notice it says 2 times a, and we already said a was 2. So this is going to mean our vertical line for our axis of symmetry in the middle of our parabola is 8 divided by 4, or 2. So what we can do is we can actually draw this vertical line right in our coordinate plane, so we know our parabola has to pretty much straddle this line. It's our line of symmetry. What is on one side has to be on the same position on the other side of our axis of symmetry. Next, we're going to use the axis of symmetry to help us find the vertex. Vertex is the highest or the lowest point on our parabola, and all that means we have to do is plug in our axis of symmetry back into the original function 2x squared minus 8x plus 7 and figure out the y value that would correspond. So we'll say y equals 2 times our x for our line of symmetry, which was 2 squared, minus 8 times 2 plus 7. So you should see that all I really did there was substitute our 2 into our function. Okay? Our result would be -1. So our vertex is at 2, -1. So we can plot that, and it's going to be on our axis of symmetry. The final step for graphing standard form quadratics is to plot the y-intercept. And the y-intercept is the value that would result if you plug in 0 for x. So if we plug in 0 for x, we're going to get a +7. So 0, 7 is our y-intercept. So we can plot 0, 7, and you'll notice that it says to reflected. So the number of units that we are away from the axis symmetry, which is 2, will be applied to the other side, and we can plot that other point. Now that additional point gives us what appears to be a V. Make sure when you graph this that you try to make it a smooth curve. And it should also resemble what we initially said it would look like, opening up and being pretty narrow. And it does. So there's our quadratic function. I hope these 4 steps can be a guide for you when you're graphing any equation in standard form.